Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, I invite you on a journey deep beneath the frozen surface of our world. A journey to one of Earth's last great frontiers, the mysterious realm beneath Siberia's ancient permafrost. For thousands of years, this vast frozen landscape has kept its secrets locked away in ice. But recent scientific breakthroughs have begun to reveal what truly lies beneath this frozen time capsule. Tonight's story isn't one of fiction or fantasy. It's a tale of real discovery, of ancient worlds preserved, and of what these findings might mean for our planet's future. So settle in, close your eyes, and let your mind travel with me to the remote expanses of Siberia, where the ground has remained frozen longer than human civilization has existed, and where extraordinary discoveries await. Imagine a land where winter never truly ends, a place where temperatures plunge to -70 degrees Celsius, where the ground has remained frozen for hundreds of thousands of years. This is Siberia, home to the world's largest expanse of permafrost. Permafrost isn't simply frozen soil. It's a complex layer cake of ice, soil, rocks, and organic matter that has accumulated over millennia. In some regions of Siberia, this frozen layer extends more than a kilometer deep into the earth. For scientists, this frozen world represents one of our planet's most valuable time capsules. Like the rings of an ancient tree, each layer of permafrost tells a story about Earth's past. And now, as global temperatures rise and this ice begins to thaw, these stories are being revealed for the first time since the Ice Age. But what exactly lies beneath this frozen veil? The answer is both wondrous and concerning. Beneath the permafrost lies an archive of life from times long past. Preserved mammoths with flesh so intact that their blood still flows when thawed. Ancient seeds that can still germinate after thousands of years in suspended animation. Microorganisms that have remained dormant since before humans walked the earth. And there's something else too. Something that has scientists increasingly concerned. Vast stores of carbon and methane, greenhouse gases that have been locked away for millennia, now at risk of release as the permafrost thaws. Tonight, we'll explore it all. The ancient life, the microbial worlds, the climate connections, and the ongoing scientific quest to understand this hidden realm before it changes forever. One of the most remarkable aspects of Siberian permafrost is its ability to preserve life from the distant past. The cold acts as nature's perfect freezer, halting decay and preserving organic material in extraordinary detail. Perhaps the most famous permafrost discoveries are the woolly mammoths. Since the early 1900s, dozens of these Ice Age giants have been found in various states of preservation. The most remarkable was a calf nicknamed Luba, discovered by reindeer herders in 2007. Luba was so well preserved that researchers could examine the contents of her stomach, learning exactly what she ate for her last meal. Her mother's milk and bits of fecal matter that would have helped establish gut bacteria, just as modern elephant calves do. But mammoths are just the beginning. Scientists have also uncovered ancient wolves, cave lions, and woolly rhinoceroses, a veritable Ice Age zoo preserved in remarkable detail. In 2018, researchers made an even more astonishing discovery. A perfectly preserved foal from an extinct species of horse. The 42 zero-year-old foal still had liquid blood in its veins, blood that scientists hope might one day yield DNA intact enough to potentially bring this ancient species back through cloning. The permafrost preserves not just megafauna but also smaller life forms. Ancient seeds have been recovered, some of which have been successfully germinated after thousands of years frozen in time. The record holder is a 32 zero-year-old seed from a silene stenophylla plant recovered from a squirrel's burrow deep in the permafrost. Scientists successfully grew this Ice Age flower, which produced viable seeds of its own, a living connection to an ecosystem that existed when Neanderthals still walked the earth. As we drift deeper into our journey tonight, imagine these ancient forms of life, suspended in ice, waiting patiently through the millennia. Their stories, their DNA, their very essence preserved in this natural deep freeze, offering us a window into worlds long vanished from the Earth's surface. While spectacular finds like mammoths capture our imagination, some of the most significant discoveries beneath the permafrost are invisible to the naked eye. Ancient microorganisms, some of which have been dormant for hundreds of thousands of years. In 2016, Russian scientists studying the ancient permafrost of Siberia discovered bacteria that had been frozen for 3.5 million years. When thawed under laboratory conditions, these microbes came back to life, beginning to multiply as if their multi-million-year sleep had been but a moment. These are among the oldest living organisms ever discovered. These ancient microbes represent a biological time capsule, offering insights into the evolution of life on Earth, and potentially containing genetic information that could lead to new antibiotics or other medical breakthroughs. However, the awakening of ancient microbes also presents concerns. Some of these organisms might be pathogens to which modern humans have no immunity. In 2016, an outbreak of anthrax in Siberia was linked to the thawing of a decades-old reindeer carcass infected with the bacteria. As permafrost continues to thaw, scientists are monitoring for the potential re-emergence of ancient diseases. Even more numerous than dormant microbes are the traces of ancient DNA preserved in the permafrost. This environmental DNA, or eDNA, allows scientists to reconstruct entire ecosystems from the past by analyzing the genetic material left behind by all forms of life that once inhabited the area. Through this technique, researchers have identified plants and animals that left no visible fossils, painting a more complete picture of Ice Age Siberia. As you relax and prepare for sleep, picture these microscopic time travelers, preserved in their frozen world, each one a living history book with stories to tell about our planet's distant past. Perhaps the most consequential discovery beneath Siberia's permafrost relates to our planet's climate future. Locked within the frozen ground are vast stores of carbon and methane, greenhouse gases that have been sequestered for thousands of years. The numbers are staggering. Scientists estimate that permafrost worldwide contains nearly twice as much carbon as is currently in our atmosphere. In Siberia alone, hundreds of billions of tons of carbon are locked away in frozen organic matter, the remains of plants and animals that never fully decompose due to the cold. As temperatures rise and permafrost thaws, this organic material becomes available to microbes, which break it down, releasing carbon dioxide and methane. Methane is particularly concerning as it is about 25 times more potent as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide over a 100-year period. Perhaps the most consequential discovery beneath Siberia's permafrost relates to our planet's climate future. In some areas of Siberia, this process is already visibly underway. Researchers have documented what locals call breathing or trembling tundra, areas where the ground bulges and shifts as gases build up beneath the surface. Sometimes, these buildups lead to explosive events that leave massive craters in the landscape. One such feature, the Batagaika crater in northern Siberia, has been growing rapidly since the 1960s and is now more than a kilometer long and 100 meters deep. Locals call it the gateway to the underworld, and it continues to expand as permafrost thaw accelerates. These changes create what scientists call a feedback loop. Warming leads to thawing, which releases greenhouse gases, which causes more warming, which leads to more thawing. Understanding this cycle is crucial for predicting how quickly our climate might change in the coming decade. As we continue our bedtime journey, let these thoughts settle gently in your mind. Not as causes for nighttime worry, but as reminders of the delicate balance of our planet's systems and the importance of the scientific work being done to understand them. The study of what lies beneath Siberia's permafrost is one of the great scientific adventures of our time. Researchers from around the world brave extreme conditions to drill ice cores, analyze samples, and monitor changes in this frozen frontier. One of the most significant research sites is the Northeast Science Station in Chersky, Russia. Here, scientists maintain what they call Pleistocene Park, an ecological experiment attempting to recreate the grassland ecosystem that existed during the Ice Age. The theory is that large grazing animals could help protect permafrost by removing insulating snow cover in winter and trampling down insulating moss in summer, allowing the cold to penetrate deeper into the ground. Other researchers focus on the study of ice cores, cylindrical samples drilled from the permafrost that contain layers representing thousands of years of Earth history. These cores contain air bubbles with atmospheric samples from ancient times, pollen that reveals what plants were growing, and dust that can indicate volcanic eruptions or meteorite impacts. In recent years, new technologies have revolutionized this field of study. Ground-penetrating radar allows scientists to map the extent and depth of permafrost without drilling. Satellite monitoring tracks changes in surface temperature and ground movement across vast areas, and advanced genetic sequencing techniques can identify thousands of species from just a handful of soil. The knowledge gained through this research isn't just academic. It has practical applications for communities in the Arctic who are already experiencing the effects of thawing permafrost. Buildings constructed on what was once stable frozen ground are now settling and cracking as their foundations shift. Roads and airports buckle and warp, and indigenous communities find their traditional food sources and ways of life threatened by these rapid changes. As our journey through the world beneath the permafrost continues, consider the dedication of these scientists, working in one of Earth's harshest environments to understand our planet's past and help prepare for its future. As we near the end of our bedtime exploration, let's consider what the thawing of Siberia's permafrost might mean for our planet's future. The release of greenhouse gases from thawing permafrost represents what scientists call a tipping point, a threshold beyond which certain effects become irreversible on human timescales. Understanding how quickly this process might occur is one of the most important questions in climate science today. Yet amid these concerns, the study of permafrost also offers opportunities. The ancient DNA preserved in ice could help scientists understand how species adapt to environmental changes. The study of revived microorganisms might lead to new antibiotics or other medical breakthroughs. And the climate record locked in permafrost helps create more accurate models to predict future changes. For those living in Siberia and other Arctic regions, adapting to these changes is already a daily reality. Some communities are developing engineering solutions to stabilize buildings on thawing ground. Others are adjusting traditional hunting and gathering practices as animal migration patterns shift and plant communities change. Scientists continue to advocate for reduced global greenhouse gas emissions as the most effective way to slow permafrost thaw. Each degree of warming we prevent could keep vast amounts of ancient carbon safely locked away in the frozen ground. As you drift toward sleep, consider that the story of what lies beneath Siberia's permafrost is still being written, partly by nature, partly by human actions, and partly by the dedicated researchers working to understand this changing frozen frontier. We've journeyed deep beneath the frozen surface of Siberia tonight, exploring a world that few humans have seen firsthand. We've discovered preserved mammoths and ancient seeds, microscopic time travelers, and vast stores of greenhouse gases, all locked away in ice for thousands of years. As your body relaxes and your mind prepares for sleep, take with you the wonder of this hidden realm, a natural archive of Earth's history, preserved in extraordinary detail by the cold. The story of what lies beneath the permafrost reminds us that our planet is constantly changing, constantly revealing new secrets. It reminds us that the present moment is just one frame in Earth's long history, and that we are both witnesses to and participants in its ongoing story. Tomorrow, when you wake, perhaps you'll carry with you a new appreciation for the frozen frontiers of our world, and for the scientists who dedicate their lives to understanding them. For now, let thoughts of ancient ice and preserved worlds drift through your mind as you journey towards sleep. Good night and pleasant dreams.